$15.
Yeah, they upped it, right? Because last time that we all went was $5 tables, which was dope.
But you can also smoke inside that game.
Yeah. Well, you can't smoke inside anymore.
No more smoking
Bro,
indoors.
what is America failing?
This is why we're here.
If you can't smoke inside a casino,
All the homies.
what is
we
wrong?
doing?
What's the point?
Why does this place
I'm honestly glad you can't smoke inside the casino.
All right, well,
Are you saying I can't?
This is over.
Bro, I mean, listen, because at least at the end of the day, if you crap out and lose all your money, at least you don't smell like a freaking ashtray.
no, then you can't just rip a heater and get back in.
You might as well not even drink if you can't
Yeah, really.
smoke.
I only drink when I smoke.
I only
It's
smoke when I
something
drink.
that is added in terms of like the cleanliness and the ambiance is nice.
Yeah.
However, I don't want to go into a casino and feel like an upstanding citizen. You know what I
No,
mean?
I'm not going there
You
to
wanna
smell
feel-
I
good.
want to feel like trash.
Yeah.
That's right. Like I want to feel good about myself because I'm watching people chain smoke cigarettes in
Just
front of a slot
ripping,
machine.
ripping,
I'm just like,
ripping.
at least
Bro,
that's not me.
You
Yeah.
see some
Character. Yes.
Oh,
it's
dude.
gold.
There's
It's worth
characters
going just
in
to
the
see.
freaking casino.
Yep.
I am utterly shocked every time I walk in there, and I'm
It's
like,
insane.
holy
There's
crap.
no rules.
It's insane.
There's no
Some
you.
of the
You could.
people, they're
oh.
just staring at those slot machines. You think they're looking at God. They're like,
That's right.
Have you seen that video of
They
all
kinda
those
are.
old people just on the slot
Oh,
machines
dude,
on all
nonstop. It's
all
like
penny slots?
contest
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah, it's
Imagine
Because
crazy.
they're out there every day.
Oh,
Dude,
yeah.
Imagine
Oh,
you
yeah.
were at a point in life where you sign up to play slots in a competition.
That's gonna be me. in
You're
like
playing
30
competitive
years.
slots. God.
give me
Could you
30
imagine?
years.
bro, you need a life. Like, go to the gym. You know what I'm saying? Like, go to the gym. It's crazy. I remember one of the craziest times, or it's not the craziest times, but crazy stories from the casino ever. Was I was walking the casino, it was my first or second time ever, and this dude just won a bunch of money on like, it was like craps or something like that, and it was like, okay, he just won a ton of money, and he just got up, started dancing, taking his shirt off, taking his jacket off.
Dude,
there's nothing better than
me and
seeing
Bruce
people.
Blair, you know,
Yeah.
Bruce Blair,
Yeah, it's like-
are walking by this guy, and instantly in my head I was like, dude, this reminds me of like when David danced before God. I was like, holy crap, buddy is an idol, like,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah.
I was like, this is crazy.
Sodom and Gomorrah, baby.
Yeah,
You're
exactly.
crazy.
Donate turns around and turns into a pillar of salt.
Just snap off his finger and
Yeah.
put it on your salad. Yeah.
Anyway, welcome to
Welcome to.
Is the natural spinoff for this podcast?
It's Time.
Is it a gambling podcast called All the Bets with a Z?
Ooh.
Yes.
There we
Ramsey,
go.
you can be on every episode of that.
Uh,
Head it
all
up.
the bets.
I'll run sports. We could run.
Yeah,
sports bets.
Let's do it.
I'm not casino bets. I'm sports bets.
Listen,
Grant has one of the best betting strategies of anybody I've ever met, which is, I'll let you.
The perfect emotional hedge. So if I want my team to win, bet against them. So I'm either rich or happy.
There you are.
Not both, but I'm one.
That is
it's a
great.
glass half full, glass
That
half
is
empty.
great.
Like,
It is.
hey,
See, I'm the emotional better. I'm like,
you double down on
put it
sadness,
on-
dude.
Right, I
Well,
put it on Lewis.
I grew up a Tennessee fan, so I mean, obviously, so
Naturally.
I'm rich because we never win. So
It's monetizing the pain.
yeah, exactly.
Which is the greatest
exactly.
line I've ever heard.
I think
as
I
a
made
people.
like $500 on when we blew it against South Carolina this year in football. So
It's
it was
my
great.
favorite betting strategy I've ever heard.
How about Georgia?
Well,
Oh,
the
dude.
line wasn't very good, so I didn't win a ton of money. I
made-
want to know.
Yeah.
Gambling, listen, gambling's a beast any way you do it. I remember, the first time I ever did a sports bet was when, we were at that sports betting thing, and I put I think it was like 10. I think
crazy.
it was like $20, $10 on a UFC women's fight,
Mm-hmm.
and I bet on the what do you call it? I'm not even that good at the
Underdog.
unfavored. Yeah,
Yeah,
the
the
underdog.
unfavored.
It was
That's what we use now.
It was
Put my
like-
money on the unfavored.
It was like plus 600 or
biblical
something
bet.
like
Yeah,
that.
and it hit?
And she was fighting the reigning world champion
Okay.
Russian, just like, dude, this girl looked
Howitzer.
like she was
God,
straight out of
she
the
looks
1980s
like-
Olympics,
Yeah.
doping, everything. I mean, I was like concerned. I was like, I think I made the wrong bet.
Right.
And this other girl was like this. I think she was from Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
She's scrappy, and but she was like a stand-and punch kind of girl. And anyway, the walkout happened. I'm like, I'm screwed.
Yeah.
There goes my
Yeah.
money. I made the wrong bet. But this
Where's
girl,
my money, man?
This girl, bro, she almost got choked out by the Russian girl in the first round,
Mm-hmm.
and like Joe Rogan was like, "It's over. It's gonna
Yeah.
be over."
Yeah.
And then she escaped, and he said, "I can count like on one hand the times I've ever seen somebody escape that
Dang.
a move like that." She escaped, and then in the third round or the fourth round, the Russian girl tried to throw a kick at the girl,
Mm-hmm.
turned around, and this girl, and my whole bet was like, I'm going to bet on this girl because she's the underdog.
Right,
but
right.
I know Hispanics have a fighting spirit.
Exactly.
I'm friends with a
Modelo.
lot of Hispanics, and I was like,
Fighting spirit.
take my money.
Love
and
it.
so,
Bro, is that the fight where all the memes come from? Where he's like, whoa, you know?
Oh, yeah, when he's like, that was amazing.
That's all back. But this girl,
He
in
does
the
that
fourth-
every time.
Yeah, so that's
Every
her
time there's a
fight.
knockout.
The girl in the fourth round, as soon as she threw this kick and turned her back, jumped on this Russian girl's back,
And just-
choked her out, and threw her to the ground.
And
The world championship and won the
Donate
world
just says,
championship.
bring me
That's
my
right.
money.
And I was like, dude, my legs were shaking the entire time. They were like, and I had $10
Yeah,
on the
yeah,
line.
yeah,
I
yeah.
looked at Bruce and I said, I'm not a gambler. Dude, there was people with like thousands of dollars on
Right,
these fights
right.
and
Oh, yeah.
stuff. And I was just like shaking. It's like every time we've gone to the casino, we talk a huge game. This is what we're gonna do, and then we're gonna kill it, bro. We're gonna
Yeah.
walk out the Kings. We get to the $5 table, and we're like, who's going first?
Yeah, really. Yeah,
And
who's
Chad's like,
dipping
I'm gonna
in?
watch.
Yeah.
And we come back in an hour, he's still watching. It takes us. We're like cold,
Chad Hall will scout a table for 2 hours
Yeah.
before he decides to sit down like he's watching.
Yeah.
Gotta watch the
Way
table.
too patient with it. It's
Yeah.
crazy,
Oh my
but
gosh. But then he gets there and
Yeah,
he
I
always
know.
walks out with money.
I
And so
know.
there's something to the strategy.
Yep.
That said, I can absolutely see the danger of gambling. Every time I go to the casino now, my bet sizes get a little bit
I've
bigger.
noticed that.
Right?
I was actually working with
Get
Bethany to
confident.
stay.
bet it
Yeah.
all.
Yeah.
Bet it all.
Yeah.
Well, it's like the last time I went, I lost the most I've ever lost at the casino. And then I made it back the following week in
Oh,
March
you're back,
Madness.
baby.
And all of a sudden I
You're
was
back,
like,
baby.
I'm the best gambler. I'm
You break
the
even.
best of all time.
You were like, last week, God was teaching me a lesson.
Yeah,
Last
yeah,
week I
this
walked
week,
out.
He
Yeah.
was teaching me a lesson.
Last week I walked
Don't
out.
give up.
Perseverance.
Yeah.
Well, I'll never forget the time because, like, you know, when I first started going with you guys, it was all, you know, we would take $100, go to the blackjack table or whatever. And I remember this time you took $200. And Brandon's the kind of guy, I don't know if you've been to the casino with him or anything, but he will give you money and say,
Oh,
hey,
yeah.
have
Tried
a great
to.
time.
Yeah.
If you make this money back, throw it my way if you
Yep.
like. And
Yep.
if not, you know, don't worry about
He
it.
tried to do it to me.
And so he's always been so giving, and like
That's how
what
he
you were
gets
saying
you.
is like what you know, karma, right?
Right.
And so I remember one time, it was the first time I ever saw this dude bleed at the casino because he was down $100 on the blackjack table, and I walked in with like $40, and I was like, dude, this is not going well. Something's wrong. We shouldn't be here. And I remember he got up from the blackjack table, $100 down. I felt like I just saw, you know, like Xerxes bleed, like at 300.
Yeah,
You know, when he
we just
realized-
shot him full of arrows.
When he realized that he was like mortal, and
Yeah.
I was like, I think
It's
oh my
over.
gosh, I
It's
think
over.
Ramsey's not the,
Our
not the
king-
dude we need to
By the
go to
way,
casino
people
to.
at that same table are losing thousands of dollars,
Right.
and I'm
We're like
sweating
over 100.
$100.
Right, and anyway, so this dude gets up, he's pissed. I'm over there playing the slots, and he said,
Wonder
he
Woman.
was like, yeah, Wonder Woman, and she was great. And anyway, he's like, you know what, screw it. I came here to lose $200. I heard him say, I came here to lose $200. I'm gonna lose $200.
Yeah.
I was
He
like,
goes to the
let's
roulette
go.
table, and he's like, has $100 left. He's like, throws 50 on 9 and
50
50
on
on 19, his wife's birthday.
Nice.
And he walks
Can't
away.
lose.
Walks,
Can't
the
lose.
dude's gone. And we're just all looking there, spinning. Boom, lands on 9.
Dang,
And we
that
freak
is
out.
baller.
Brandon's not
you
even
would have
around.
thought. You would have thought by their reaction from a distance that we had won
$100
the
grand.
league.
Yeah.
Oh, bro, he walked away with like $2,000. I have a
Yeah.
legendary pic. We'll
Yeah.
post it. But it's been freaking awesome. But it's crazy. Some people lose their lives
Fickle
doing
thing.
it.
It's a
But
fickle
you know
thing.
what? You can drown from drinking too much water.
It's true.
And who am I
It's
here
true.
to judge?
Hey,
you know?
everybody's got their vice. You just got to pick which one
Exactly.
you
Yeah,
want
which
to
one's
lose.
gonna kill you the slowest?
Yeah,
Right,
exactly.
Right. But anyway, I appreciate you guys joining us for all the homies. This
All
is one of
the
our homie
homies.
hangouts.
Full homies.
Actually, our first homie hangout ever.
it.
We got a little mini game we're gonna play at the end. What you guys don't know is I've prepared a punishment. Oh, there goes my thing. A punishment for the loser. So whoever loses this game today will take a pie to the face.
Let's
Oh,
go.
And
wow.
Perfect.
we have our judge right here,
I don't know
Mr.
how
Fashion
I got-
himself. And then the 3 contestants, you guys know, but I'm going to let everybody introduce themselves. If you want to start with my boy Jay, co-host Jay.
Jay Little, what up, what up, what up? Jay Booty, Jay Money, whatever suffice.
Grant, back again. Thank you guys for having us again. I appreciate it.
Brandon, yeah, this is always a pleasure, and
Yup, and-
we'll hopefully hopefully I'm kind of hungry. I'd take a pile of face.
Yeah. Okay. I'll see what I can do. I'll put a good word in with the judge. So.
I can eat some pie.
Brandon be like, fire me up, fire me up. Yeah, and it's Done, and just this is one of our just like homie hangs, man. This is what we be doing anyway, but we're gonna tape it.
Yeah,
So,
exactly. Put it in the archives.
Absolutely. So, dude, I appreciate you guys joining us. Just a little bit about how you guys became friends would be a little, because that's
I'm really
something
interested to know because I had no clue you guys even
It's
knew
an
each
accident.
other.
Total
Honestly,
accident. I was
yeah.
like, there's no great origin story. It's,
I think we realized that we were at the same time, same place, same time.
Yeah, literally.
Somehow, and we realized you are me and I.
Yeah,
we
that's
were
right.
very
We're
similar.
the same person.
So it's either at least with me, it's either when I'm the exact same as somebody, it's either butt heads or
Yes.
just immediately
Just fine.
friends.
Yeah.
So I think we're just cynical enough to balance each
Was
other.
it through the wives?
What?
I
don't
honestly-
think so.
So there was crossover from our Lee days,
Of course,
right?
yeah.
I took a class with Gabby. That's where I got to know Gabby. Grant
I had a class with
Grant's
Bethany
wife.
too.
And Grant had a class with Bethany, right?
Yeah.
And we
So
knew
you
of
took
each
a-
other and kind of ran when you're in the Greek life at Lee, you run a similar
Yeah.
social
For sure.
circle. So
Yeah.
everybody knows
everybody.
everybody,
Right.
But it wasn't until the accounting firm that I worked at is the accounting firm that his wife works on the wealth
Yeah.
management side.
So it was.
But we didn't even interact.
at
No,
God.
You
that's
crazy,
You know what it
Jesus, you
was?
crazy.
It was when
You crazy,
Kramer
Jesus.
moved back from San
That's
Francisco.
exactly what it was.
And he
Yeah.
was at your house.
It was
That's
the
what
the refrigerator.
Yes.
It was
yes.
bonding
Oh,
over the
yes.
refrigerator.
That's what it was.
So-
we moved a refrigerator together.
Well, we
and
didn't
almost
move anything.
died.
Did his
so
back hold up?
We
barely.
didn't move anything.
No, true.
We
yeah.
so Aaron Kramer, good friend, moves from San Francisco to Chattanooga. We're helping him move into his house.
Okay.
He buys a refrigerator secondhand. We get it at the
2-ton
The house that he
refrigerator.
lives in is huge, a big old flight of stairs just to get up to the main floor. There's the
Yep.
garage, which is the first
There's
floor.
no bottom
There's
floor.
no bottom floor. It's just the garage. And you got to climb these massive stairs to get the refrigerator up. So we're trying to bring this refrigerator up. Aaron has this neighbor, Dan, who's the biggest man on the face of the planet.
Let's go.
It's like who
Bigger
the
than
Rock
Donut.
It's like who the Rock aspires to be.
Yes,
It's ultimate.
yes. We need to pull up a picture of this
He-
dude. I mean, he is just
A
No-
absolute
no
behemoth.
neck.
no neck. He looks
No
like
neck.
what's that dude off Guardians?
Oh,
He
yeah,
looks
he
like
looks
that
like
guy.
Batista.
Yeah,
He looks
Dave
exactly like
Batista.
Batista.
I can't remember the character's name.
But he so we're struggling to get this refrigerator up. He shows up out of nowhere and basically picks the entire fridge up himself
Yep.
and carries it into the house. But while we're doing that, the refrigerator starts to slip, and Grant is firmly
Yeah.
underneath.
yeah,
Essentially, the refrigerator.
I'm either gonna get crushed and die, or I'm gonna hold this fridge.
That's right.
Yeah,
Two choices.
That's right.
Right.
So it was that chaos moment that was
adversity
the
born out of
catalyst. That's
yeah,
right.
yeah. We had a common enemy,
Yeah.
and that's what happened.
And now we've been to countless baby showers. Grant's always super generous in hosting
Right
And
on.
friend
things,
groups' baby
yeah.
showers, right?
Right on.
And then
Any
we've-
sort of
any excuse to go to the
Gathering.
Tremont Tavern
Yep,
and
yep.
grab a beer and a burger, right?
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
It's just natural.
it is
you know?
natural. And then
Same
and it's
stage of
just
life.
and I think
Yeah.
what works for our friendship is we're both very career and object motivated, right? Or some we want to tackle the task at hand,
Right.
Yeah.
and
right.
that does not necessarily consist of us hanging out all the time.
No,
Right?
I'm very guilty of that as
Yeah.
like a person. It's like I will, I'm never the first one to reach out, you know.
Exactly.
And but I don't have to have that in a friendship
Right.
either, you know. Like
Sure.
I'll pick up right where I left off,
That's
no matter
me.
what it is. So if
Yeah.
it's once every 6 months or 6 days later, it doesn't matter. It's
Exactly.
all the same.
So is there something that causes you to want to reach out sometimes? Like, I know that there's
Dude.
friendships like a
Yeah.
dance. Like sometimes there's seasons where you're reaching out more. Sometimes there's seasons
Feel
where
a
they're
Ramsey
reaching out
sized
more.
Right.
hole.
That's
Oh,
right.
man.
But
So I just turn on the Brandon beacon. I just shine on the light, and then and all it is a pack of Marlboro lights. He just comes running out of the
What?
corner.
Where?
Yeah.
Huh?
Listen, all the homies does not condone smoking, and it's just
all.
a joke. It's
I've
just
never
a joke,
smoked.
y'all.
Ever in my life.
Screw you, big
Yeah.
tobacco.
That's right.
But yeah, I've noticed that in friendships. Like, I feel like me and Jay kind of have this balance. Me and Brandon have this balance. And the better that you can balance it, the more
Yeah.
yin and yang you
Yeah.
got, the better the friendship is. Because, like, I know there's a lot of times that, like, I'll have a crazy season in my life where I'm unable to reach out or be present as much or even have the capacity to think about things like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
And then your homie might be going through a time where maybe things are a little more relaxed or they're just in a spot where they can. And I think it's, learning how to balance that, but also just understanding each other. In friendship in general, like I
Yeah.
remember one of my
That's
best friends, Willie,
relationships,
I've
yeah.
mentioned him before because we grew up together, inherent friend, but we used to butt heads all the time. I mean, butt heads all the time. We were both leaders.
You guys were
we both
butt
wanted.
heads.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? We were both butt heads.
Word.
And anyway, we got to the point where we just learned, like, hey, we need to have some grace with each other, man. And sometimes we're going to be able to hang out, and sometimes we can't.
Right.
But we just want what's best for the other person. And when you get that, I think that's when friendships flow,
Yeah.
you know?
No doubt.
I will say, I think all my best friendships are ones that they know, like, I'm always down, but
Right.
they know they have to reach out. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
it's like for me,
For sure.
because I think like you said, it's with work. Like I always have something I could be doing.
Right.
Like I'm always like grinding, not in like a I'm a hustler kind of way. But it's like, yeah, it's like
There's something to do.
yeah, being in a like owning a small business, like you're always working. So
There's
if
always
I'm
something to do,
if
yeah.
I'm not
It's
working,
always a trade-off.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like I could be spending this time
Yep.
financially, you know, gaining from this.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
I think the biggest driver for me is we will be very good friends if I don't have to worry about texting you to make you feel like you're loved. You know what I mean?
It's not my job.
that's
we're
like-
buddies. You know?
you
You're
should
looking
know
for
I love
texting
you.
from this guy. You
It's
ain't
not
getting
gonna
it.
happen.
You
It's
ain't
not
getting
gonna
it, boy.
happen.
I'm
It's
gonna
not
tell
gonna
you right
happen.
now.
It's not gonna happen. And it's not like it's no offense. I just don't text anybody back.
Right.
And it's because I probably got. Where's my phone? I probably have right now.
Oh, it's disgusting.
300 unread text messages.
I would die.
I've got,
I
I've got
could not
210 unread text messages.
You're
That
just
is
like, that's for
unbelievable.
later.
Well, it's because I know if it's urgent, someone will call me. If it's something
sure.
to like do or to hang out, right? Someone will call me. But if it's a
You
text,
should just turn notifications off on your
I
text.
honestly should just delete the
Honestly,
messages.
you should just get a flip phone, bro.
For
Get a
real.
Nokia.
But I love
charge it
every
once
detail.
every
He's a
3
tech
weeks.
boy, though.
I know I
You know what I'm
can't.
saying?
I always have the new phone. I love the new tech product, but like I didn't grow up. I grew up where text messaging cost 10 cents a message because my parents wouldn't buy a text plan.
Okay.
So I was trained from a young age.
Probably
don't
because they
text.
didn't trust you with a text plan.
As well, they shouldn't have.
Yeah.
Right? And so, like, I think 1 month I racked up like a $200 texting bill, right?
You were just texting
Your
girls,
little
what you
13-year-old,
doing.
like,
Oh,
yeah,
and I
like,
got it handed to me so good
I'm
that
sure,
I was just like,
I'm
I'm never
sure.
texting anybody ever again.
Remember when
Yeah.
it used to be calls? You had
Same.
call minutes.
You had
know?
like you could text
Before
after
texting were
night,
even- yeah,
or,
it was
like
free
after
after-
6.
yeah.
Oh, dude, that's the generation we
crazy,
grew up in.
crazy world.
So I grew up where texting was discouraged. Now I only text if it's work-related reasons or if it's Bethany.
Fair, fair.
And then when cash, it'll be cash, right?
Nice.
you
it's
get
just-
cash on all the homies.
Dude,
get
just
him
sit
on
him
it,
in
yeah.
here and let him.
He just
that would actually
bounced.
be
He
a
just
vibe.
sit here and
Yeah,
bounce.
he
That's
was
what he would do.
vibe of an episode for sure.
Like, so this is what it's all about.
Yeah.
That's right. He'd be an amazing host.
So what you been up to, man? Like I know, we catch up, but not very often. What's day-to-day life been like for you? Been hitting the gym? What you been up to?
I think that's a no.
I
I think
wanted to hear
Okie
it.
dokie.
I just wanted to hear
No,
it.
I did have a moment of clarity. We were talking about this in the write-up.
Yeah, true.
I had a moment of clarity where I was going and trying on some new like summer clothes or whatever. I needed a couple of new shirts,
Yeah.
and I was in the changing room and I kind of saw curves I had never seen before, and I was like,
What's this?
Wait a minute.
what's happening? All right, so I'm trying to get on a healthier kick. I'm drinking more water, which I mean for me is a huge.
Well, that's a good
That's
step.
good.
Drink
Yeah,
more.
anything's a
Joe-
good style.
That's right.
Water.
Joe Rogan's got me on the athletic greens. So
Okay.
I love that product.
You know, that's my favorite thing that people who don't work out really much say. Well, we used to kill it back in the
We
day.
did.
I will give you that
Used to
before I
grind.
plan.
Like y'all are grinding right now. Y'all are
Yeah,
grinding every day.
but my favorite thing that people who don't work out anymore say is, "I've been drinking water." like, basically,
I've been- oh, yeah.
You know what? The first step to getting fit is drinking water, bro. You need that to live.
Yeah, really. That's
You know what I'm
essential
saying?
for
like,
life.
we haven't even walked to the gym yet. You haven't even got out your car yet and got to the gym.
Hey,
Just drink the
but
water,
good for you, bro.
I-
Most people do not.
That's what I'm saying, just
at
trying.
all, and you feel so much
Is
better.
that a new thing?
I
Like, I feel
mean-
like water's prioritized now.
When we were kids, it was
it-
drink milk.
Yeah,
That's right. Drink
Now
milk.
it's
It's like,
drink water.
yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know. It
It's
just
'cause
seems weird.
Now we're all lactose.
Because they got
Yeah.
fluoride in the water.
Hey, there's that, but also like even we were raised on the generation where Coca-Cola got their main like big advertisement right on
Yeah.
TV. Nickelodeon and Disney had like soda ads and,
Oh, yeah.
and Lunchable ads and all that stuff.
Well-
we grew up on a generation where any food was healthy food.
That's
right?
fair. Like
Yeah.
breakfast.
Just finish your
big
plate.
breakfast
Yeah.
is a lot.
Big
dude.
big breakfast. Who like nobody's eating French toast every day,
No.
but for the longest time you could have been convinced that
Yeah.
like every
Yeah.
there at one point my mom was making pancakes every morning.
You know the
What?
And
FDA
you're
like
saying that like as a bad thing?
It was not a bad thing at the time. I really enjoyed it, but like it wasn't healthy, right?
right.
I
Sugary
grew up on McDonald's. My
cereals,
granddad
yeah.
used to take me into the back of the McDonald's to let me make just whatever.
Hey, man.
You know what I mean?
What?
Like,
Get
What?
out.
You know
Just
what?
leave.
What?
Just get
Yeah.
out. Come on.
My parents couldn't even take me to Build-A-Bear, but your grandpa got you a
Build a McDonald's.
You went
Build
to
a
the
Big
back
Mac
and
over
whatever you
here.
want. Oh
It was,
my
but
God.
that's
He
like
actually
that's
invented the Big Mac.
Oh my goodness.
2 all-beef patties, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, and onions on a sesame.
Look at this guy.
Wow.
That's
Wow.
crazy. But yeah, you were saying the
McDonald's.
FDA. The FDA is on crack.
Yeah, well, dude, they've said that like a bowl of Captain Crunch
I
is
saw that.
better
Healthier
than
than eggs or
yeah than
something.
Well,
eggs.
I knew
It's just
they
like,
were messed up when a couple years ago they released a study that margarine. Is that how you say it? Margarine? Shea butter?
butter.
Yeah. That,
Same.
it's like all synthetic.
Yeah.
Was healthier than coconut oil. And that
Dude, it's
coconut oil
crazy.
could cause heart disease.
Dude, I knew the FDA was corrupt when I read federal in the title. and I
Yeah,
was like,
that's how you do it.
done.
Like, oh, it's a government institution.
Oh, that's
Don't
right.
trust
There's
it.
no
Yeah.
way this works well.
Yeah.
Right.
No.
Yeah.
I would rather, honestly, if y'all ever watch Parks and Rec,
We don't.
The Ron Swanson. Anybody out there that knows Parks
love
and
Ron
Rec?
Swanson, so,
Swanson.
yeah.
That's
That
kind
is
of
you.
like that's
Yeah.
that's coming to fruition.
Yes,
Like
yes.
everybody's skepticism of the government. It's happening now.
Yeah, that's for sure.
I feel like Parks
Yeah,
and
but
Rec
they-
is- Go ahead. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
He was on The Last of Us, bro.
He was what a
Dude, that episode.
what an episode.
12 out of 10.
That was.
I have never
Whoa.
been so invested in my life
Yeah,
in that
all.
episode.
But The Last of Us, they underpay women and child actors, bro.
Stop.
Wait,
I don't know what y'all talking
Wait,
about,
what?
bro.
This
I
is
haven't
the
heard
greatest.
this. Yeah.
But that was Ron Swanson. That's what
It was.
happened.
That was
Yeah.
Ron
It was
Swanson.
him.
But it was just the whole episode was
It
magic.
was beautiful. It
And
was
then-
beautiful.
Crazy
It
how it
was.
pulled you in. You start off, you're like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, and like you kind of see it coming, but you don't see it coming. And then when as the episode develops, I don't want to spoil it for anybody. You're kind of
Nah, it's
skeptical
been
of
out.
how like that episod's
Uh-huh.
gonna go. They make it perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was gold. It
They
was
make it
gold.
perfect.
Bro, you
That-
need to spend less time watching The Last of Us
Stop.
and more time in the gym.
He's drinking water, dude.
Oh, he's drinking water. Oh, you haven't drinking water though, bro. Okay, I
Yeah,
got
we
you.
we just
Athletic
came on here
greens.
to make
Look,
fun of you.
athletic-
So-
athletic
Probably
greens-
bench 315 right now
Probably
because of that water.
Athletic greens, it's in the title. Athletic. I'm doing something athletic.
That's true.
Right?
That's true.
So take me on that. And then between that last, do y'all watch Succession at all?
I need to get into it.
Oh, the last episode of Succession and The Last of Us are two of the greatest.
I haven't finished The Last of Us yet. I think I'm like episode 8.
Not the last episode. That episode of The Last.
Oh, that
That
episode.
episode.
Gotcha.
I
That
have
one's
been watching
fantastic.
White Lotus though.
Hadn't watched
All right,
it.
the first season is wild. The second season's the craziest show maybe I've ever seen. It's like the most egregious.
It's just like each season is centered around a human fault.
It is.
Basically.
It's one of the,
Have you
it's
seen
one of the
Black
7
Mirror?
deadly sins.
Oh, dude,
Dude,
Black
Black Mirror,
come on.
12 out of 10.
That
That
is
is
something
amazing.
nuts.
I wish that's one of those shows I wish I could erase my mind and rewatch.
Right.
It.
Yeah,
It is
agreed.
so
But
good.
it's like Black Mirror, but it's more so centered in like it's like based around a hotel, right? Different hotels. In
Okay, I'm
different
gonna have to
parts
watch
of
it
the world.
then, so.
But it's like humans indulging or being like trying to break or discipline their like cravings and like their
Interesting.
nature. So like some people are like more geared this way,
Mm-hmm.
and it shows how like to me at least the first season was that the
Everybody
baby.
sucks.
but the first season showed me that it was kind of like nobody really changes except a small amount of people.
Gotcha.
Like as many people that want to
no
change
amount of water
cannot
can do
change
it?
as much water as you drink, Brandon. I swear you're gonna have to get in the gym. But
Go to the gym of Bucky's.
it's probably
This is my joke.
exactly. But I think it's a cool show, man, because it's like all about like human desire and human wanting to change and like what humans are at the core. And there's no like solid like plot line. You know what I'm saying? Where because
Yeah.
usually I'm watching the show and I can anticipate everything.
Right.
But
Black Mirror made me question my
So
humanity
good.
a
So
little bit,
good. Yes.
right? Just
Yes.
because there's some things on there that are being framed as bad that I'm like, actually, I gotta get on board with
Yeah.
this, right?
You,
like,
you know why it's called Black Mirror?
you
It's
know
the-
what
it's-
episode?
It reflects the dark.
if
of-
you
it's
don't know
beautiful.
this is an amazing thing. The reason Black Mirror is called the show that, or the name that it is because your phone, when turned off, or your laptop, when turned off, is a black mirror.
Yeah.
So it's all about like the thing that you're using to look at. So like the social ranking system, China's already doing that.
Yep.
So they kind of called their shot on that one. The White Bear episode, did y'all ever see
so
that?
good. So good.
That I genuinely like. That's a great idea
Which
for,
one's the
for
White
mass
Bear?
killers.
The one
we should do
where-
that.
No spoiler, but well, it's gonna be a spoiler.
Bro, just
so,
spoiler alert.
Yeah, it's
If
old,
you haven't
it's
seen it
old
by
enough.
now,
yeah.
what are you doing?
So this woman killed a bunch of people, and her punishment is she has to relive being killed every day of her life.
Oh, yeah,
She
yeah, yeah.
when she goes to sleep,
Hunted
she
and
wakes up
killed
hunted.
every
Yeah,
single
and she doesn't
day.
know why.
That's what's
Yeah.
up.
And she doesn't
Yeah.
know why.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah,
you
that
know
one
what?
was That one was crazy.
Yeah.
I think that's a fair
That one was
punishment.
crazy.
Yeah.
But I will say this, I think one of the coolest things is like Jay used to tell me this back in the day, but I don't know how you guys believe as far as like how the world was created and if we had been catastrophically doomed before in the past and had crazy technology.
Oh, dude, I can get
But
way
one of the
deep into
things
this.
Jay-
I love this
One of the
crap,
things
dude.
that Jay used to say is when you had all these like poetry throughout the years and stories about like he would say, for instance, mirror, mirror on the wall, tell me who's the greatest of them all or whatever, that he said that actually reflected somebody speaking to Siri on a black mirror.
I think it was, like straight
It
up,
could,
could've
yeah,
been.
you know, it could show that there was
Yo.
technology that was before that wasn't carried
Interesting.
through, you know, because even like the pyramids and stuff
Oh, dude,
like
well,
that.
humans have been around
nuts.
for what, like 3,000 years that we know of?
Yeah.
There is no, if the world is like billions of years old, we have nuked ourselves about 1,000 times,
Right.
I'm sure.
For sure. If it is
And the
millions of
pyramids,
years
dude,
old, for
when
sure.
you look at the pyramids, one, there is no explanation for how they were built. They're also perfect.
Yeah,
And have you
the
looked at like
cuts
the
on the stuff.
And they
longitude,
have no way to
latitude?
date 'em.
Yes.
They're perfectly
That's
poled.
the problem.
Yeah.
They can't date them. Like carbon dating has to be done on something that's like organic
Right.
and decaying.
And you can't.
Right,
Yeah.
and they can do the tools and stuff in between, but they're
Right.
like they're finding different stuff, and there's no way to
Nah.
actually date it.
There's a lot.
and it's so much.
Well, the
to
fact there are pyramids all over the globe.
Yes, that's
Everywhere,
another thing. That's
right?
crazy.
Right.
Without any form of communication. I mean,
and on
we
the
could-
dollar,
Yeah, that's
there's
weird.
a pyramid.
Yeah, that's weird.
On the dollar.
On the dollar,
Straight
there's
up.
a pyramid with an eye on the top. Come on, bro.
It is-
You can't tell me that. You know,
It is.
You know what?
it's not.
Say the thing.
They know,
Say the
bro.
thing.
They know. They them know, bro.
They them
You know what I'm saying?
They're a
that-
genderless entity.
That's the thing is like
Oh, we're going full lizard
to me.
people.
Yeah,
aren't
that's
we?
Reptilians, bro. Have
Yeah.
you seen the freaking Vatican?
Dude.
Have you seen the Vatican?
Dude, that's another
Come
thing.
on
They
now.
got all the archives
Come on,
of the
bro.
Vatican. They got
Come
all
on.
sorts of
I wanna
stuff.
visit.
Yeah,
Bring us out,
they
bro.
won't let you.
I'm
They
taking,
won't let
I'm
you.
taking a witness though
If
if you're
an-
bringing me out, Vatican.
If an advanced alien civilization were to invade the Earth and they wanted
They're
to
about to come
control the
busting in these
population-
windows.
Yeah,
and
all of a
just, yeah,
sudden,
we're about to
like,
get
this is
pegged
not,
on
this
tax
is never gonna
evasion or
make it to the
something.
internet. Never. If they wanted to kind of sleuthily sneak their way in, what better thing to do than to go to the center of civilization and create a city in the middle that's private to you and put all of your artifacts, vault secrets in that
Yep.
one place and
Yep.
no one can access it.
Yep.
Yeah, but you know the thing is like there's just so much evidence, even historically, even religiously, in so many different religions about great resets.
Yeah.
Like I was listening to a podcast the other day and they talked about like the polar flips that happen and that they happen in 6 days. Boom, polar flip for 6 days, and then on the 7th day, it resets.
Beating that
on the
mic.
on the 7th day it resets.
Yeah.
And so it's like so you have these like just for instance in Genesis where it's
Dude,
like God created
I was gonna
this on
say
the first
that.
day, the second
Oh,
day,
When you look-
third day,
come
fifth day,
on.
sixth
When you look
day.
at like all these
kidding.
conspiracy apocalypse,
Yeah.
reset, yada yada, and then you take it into the biblical context, it's like,
Oh,
wait a
bro.
minute,
Bro,
it
and,
adds
and
up.
the thing
Yeah,
is,
it's like
not
it's-
even,
it's-
it's not
it's-
even conspiracy.
No,
this,
no.
It was called the Adam and Eve document.
Yeah.
and it was a
Yeah.
document that was studied by the FBI and the CIA in like the mid 1900s or something.
We
that
need to
was
go for about
actually-
another hour and a
I'm
half.
about to say,
I can do it all day.
You guys got time, right?
Yeah.
Actually, it was
Oh, we're good. We're
declassified
good.
that they were actually sinking money in studying this thing about the polar flips because that's
Interesting.
and you talk if you've seen Elon talk on podcasts and stuff, he said that's like what he fears the most, the polar flips. He said even the polar the they're not even right now, like they're
Yeah.
due for a
Right.
flip.
We're going after a very niche audience on this podcast, which are
And they will
which are
stay.
gamblers.
which are gambling, God-fearing conspiracy theories.
And you know what? I think those are my favorite.
That's
kind
like,
of
that's like most of the people on the right side of the spectrum.
Yeah.
Right?
No, listen, I'm just saying like there's so much evidence in the world to say like what we know is history and what we understand to be the timeline of humanity might not actually be the
Dude,
timeline.
we
And-
know what the big they want us to know.
Exactly.
Well-
And even the stuff you see in hieroglyphics and stuff that make absolutely no sense, like flying saucer type looking things, and just the way that they built these civilizations, and just what this whole timeline has led up to now. Like we think we're so advanced, we think
Bro,
that nothing.
AI already took over and we didn't even know it.
Well, dude,
be.
talking about
We're already in the-
Elon.
we're
when
already in the
have
Matrix.
you listened to the
Just
episode with Elon and Rogan when he was like, "Oh, it's too late." When
Yeah,
talking about
that's what I'm
AI,
saying.
he's like, it's already.
If
We
If
won't
that's out of
know
the bag.
it if it hasn't taken over
If
already.
what
we're
we
not
have
gonna know.
access
It probably
to
has.
for free already exists, imagine
They've had it for 50 years.
Imagine what either
100%.
like the military has or
Yep.
the original like ChatGPT 4 is already ready for mass release, but they're not going to give it out yet because it's a little bit too scary. okay, that's what they're willing to show.
Right.
How far along are they? Like, who has already has it already passed the Turing test? Like, how advanced is this technology?
Are we in a Matrix? That's another good one.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But like, you go to the beginning of the Matrix, like the time that they're talking about everything.
That's what right now. Yeah, like what? Come on, give me out. I think
it's in the Bucky's tail.
No. This is how you know. Me being in this suit is definitely Matrix.
Well, I mean, you look at Matrix and it could mean so many different things. Like just the fact that if you know, whatever you believe in, like God, whatever you believe in, okay? So creates you, and then when your eternal body dies, right, you get unplugged.
Right.
So, I mean, anything could be a Matrix.
Yeah, it's just words. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
I mean,
interesting.
This is a rabbit hole that we could go
I love it.
For
I love it.
Let's go.
And ever and ever.
I'm ready for it.
I mean, I've always struggled with this idea that humans have only been around for 6,000 years.
There's no way.
Right? And like I also think it limits God's ability.
I agree.
Right? To say like, oh, it had to have been done in 7 24-hour
I don't think the days were days.
Well, I was gonna say that's
it could have been millennia.
Days is a man-made
concept.
It could have been a freaking 24-hour period, or it could have been 1 second.
Yeah.
Or it could have been billions of years, and God said, "Let there be light," and then over the course
I like to think that like science like proves all of it anyway. Like a day, like the way he's woven himself into creation, the way science and all that works, it's like all the little molecules started to grow life and then turned into grass and then turned into trees and it all started out of the ocean, just like it talks about.
If you ever doubt a creator, just look at the life of a honeybee, dude.
Yeah.
It is unbelievable. Because when I was in middle school, we raised honeybees, and when we would pull out the honeycomb, just a million perfect little hexagons, and it's just perfect, like down to every detail. It's just crazy.
And you've got these like animals that have evolved to look like other animals or things or all that. Like that doesn't happen overnight, and it certainly doesn't happen on accident.
No,
So it's I think that there is a spot in which evolution and creationism can exist in harmony.
Totally agree.
And like the thing I'm always like put at ease
evolution's a buzzword. At this point, you could say adaptation, and you're like, oh, okay, that makes sense. We say evolution, people are like, oh, God.
Yeah, it's. I think I love the idea that if God wanted to breathe life into something, that he chose something that he had already created and breathed life into it, and that created intelligence. Right?
Yeah.
And like intelligence is the life that he breathed, the ability to pursue a
the
relationship
idea of
with him.
intelligence.
Right. A soul is what he breathed into
Exactly.
this,
Right.
And anytime I talk about this with like anybody in my family or anybody, they're like,
"You're going to hell."
It's kind of met with that resistance where it's just like you're off your rocker.
Yeah, well, I mean,
but I feel like the majority of us share a similar belief.
Well, our parents' generation, at least in the church, now we're getting like really niche down.
No,
but it's
were your parents in the church again?
It's fire and brimstone, you know. So they were like, "Oh, you do something wrong, you're going to hell," and then so that's how they were raised, and then we were raised on the other side of like, "Oh, you're given grace. It's like you do your best, yada yada yada." So we might be a little bit too loose with our morals and what we accept.
Well, and the thing
but nobody
strict.
Yeah.
Nobody knows or has actually any proof of anything, right? So
exactly,
we're figuring it out.
Yeah.
Jay, what was, because we grew up in a household very similar, right? Legacy and all that stuff. What was your household like growing up in that kind of like traditional sense?
Very different than it is now. I think my parents were a lot more. They like nobody drank, nobody did anything like that.
Bunch of redheads.
Bunch of redheads.
Skater boys.
We were allowed to watch like Harry Potter versus my cousins were not. I couldn't say fart when I was a kid, but like they, you know,
same.
But I think like
cut that out. Bleep him out on
you
that
don't
one.
say that's a cuss word. But I think you know, 08 hit my family really, really hard. So I think they had bigger problems like during that time, and so after that, like growing up, I just started being more open and just having conversations, and I think that's where wisdom grows and just understanding forms. So yeah, it was definitely pretty conservative. They've come a long way, but they still are rooted in that. But I'm thankful for that for sure.
Yeah, it's important because it makes us who we are, right? Like who we were raised by, and like regardless whether or not we agree with some of the methodology, it was done with love, and like that's not a luxury everybody gets. True. And so I always look back and I'm somewhat critical, but somehow at the same time very thankful for the ways. Like my parents did a great job protecting me by like, do y'all remember the Focus on the Family brand that did like Adventures in Odyssey.
Yes.
Like, all of
yes.
that.
bro.
And they had like a website where you could go and type in a movie and it'd be like, this movie says.
That was essentially like the new Bible.
That's
for
right. Yeah, that's
media,
right. If
you
I
know?
wanted to go see a movie, it didn't matter if it was like.
Chronicles of
Mario.
Narnia?
Yeah,
Yes.
Chronicles of
The
Narnia.
Golden Compass? No.
That's right. That's exactly right. Golden Compass is all about
It's the
everything.
same movie.
That's right. It's the same exact movie, right? Talking animals and everything.
Yeah.
For sure.
But it's that like my mom, if it was Spider-Man,
Mm-hmm.
PG movie, go to Focus on the Family. Hey, they say the D word 8 times, right? They say the A word 4 times. You're not going to that movie. Mom, I'm 17 years old. You're not going to that movie.
Bro, you're lucky though because like my family is from the Middle East and we didn't have computers. So I mean, you could be glad that you at least had a computer.
Donate, you grew up in Dalton, Georgia. This is not a third world country.
Listen,
Dalton has
Bro.
gigabyte internet on billboards outside, all right? When we drove in,
That's true.
last episode you talked about, that you were on here, you talked about how your job out of college was here.
Yeah.
Stop.
It is the carpet.
Well, to be
capital of the
fair,
world.
It is.
his
I made a
experience
lot of pain for
was
carpet mills.
very different.
Yeah.
I
Totally.
mean, because his
Totally.
parents were first generation, right?
Absolutely.
So,
Well, I mean, just imagine this, okay? Imagine that for some reason you're Russian, right, or something, and you know you're moving to a country, your family's moving to a country,
Oh, yeah,
and you
that's
were born
true.
in a different country, and you know you moved to America, right? And let's just say that the Russians at the time were just bombing your country. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna have a very different view about the rest of the world and like their entertainment and
Yeah.
their
For
sports
sure.
and
Yeah,
stuff like that.
for
Not
sure.
saying that that was the case, like,
Especially in
No,
that time,
that's
from
right.
Yeah,
2000 to 2015.
Please do not let me discredit your worldview is invaluable. But saying I grew up without technology is a lie. That's just not
bro,
true.
we didn't have a kitchen table, man. We ate on the floor. Like Martha
That
will
can
tell
be
you.
true, and you still have technology in your life.
is
You're
that
not
true?
playing that.
She's shaking her head.
Yeah, like, that's
yeah,
not a
what? Yeah, you drive a Tesla now, my God. Don't even come at me.
You poor
with that.
thing.
Yeah, that's right.
Times are good now.
That's
you
right.
know, not like America, you know, back in the day.
He's
No,
wearing
but-
Lewis Hamilton's latest drip.
Yeah.
Driving a Tesla. Man, I grew up without technology.
Right. Listen.
He's
no,
on a podcast. He's hosting a podcast.
Right. Listen, all I'm saying is this, okay? We're all humans. We don't know where we came from. And at the end of the day, I feel like some people, like your parents or your parents, like they are the way they are because you are I've always liked to say, like, you're a product of your environment,
100%.
right? Like, just like
100%.
my grandfather, when he was in the Middle East being raised, like, he was basically an orphan. He did the best that he could. Yeah, you know, did sometimes he treat my grandmother not right? Yeah, but, you know, that's just what it
Product
was.
of the
Like,
environment. Yeah, totally.
Sometimes you're a product of the environment. You always have the choice to do better than your environment or do worse. And you see that all the time. Like, people whose
Absolutely.
families struggle with, like, their father was an alcoholic or anything like that. Like sometimes the kid turns into an alcoholic, and sometimes they never want to be what they saw in their family.
That's why the
Exactly.
victim mentality is so BS, man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Come
it, look,
Everybody wants to be a victim.
We
and
all have
no,
trauma.
and no discredit to people who are actually real victims and stuff. But
for sure. But
it
The
is
choice
popular
is
to
still
be a
there. You
victim
can
right
rise
now.
above or let it sink you.
yeah,
Right.
we all have trauma. We're all broken. That's why we need Jesus.
Exactly.
Right? But at the same
Exactly.
time, like, there are some people with worse trauma than others.
True.
But if you have people that love you, like I've learned recently by having good friends and a good family, that's really all you.
No, that's all
Right.
you need.
But really, we don't know where we come from at the same time because, you know, you look at all these things that we can comprehend, whether you look at religion or science, you know, and you see things and there's always these outliers like, well, what about this? And nobody
Right.
can explain it,
Right.
you
Yeah.
know.
Well,
and I
the
think when
entire idea of like race,
Yeah.
you know, like I mean, you can biblically track it back to Tower of Babel,
Yeah.
right? But even
I
then,
love that, bro.
but even then, like with like Mesopotamia, Judea, all they're at one point we were all the same, and then from that it grew.
Bro,
And
I
so-
think Tower of Babel was like Pangea breaking apart.
Agreed.
Yes, yeah.
Wholeheartedly agree.
Could be, bro.
Could line up with
be.
Noah's Ark
hot
too.
appetite.
When
And that's what
everything was
exactly,
flooded, then
and
it,
that's what they said is because with the polar flip, like I was
Yeah,
talking about, they
yeah.
said that it, like in the scripture, it says that the waters came from the ground, came
Yeah.
up. They didn't say it rained. Like
Right.
there's
That's
this
right.
concept that it
Came
rained, that
up.
it came up through the ground, through the whatever in the ground. And so with the polar
rained
flip,
too,
it
though,
causes.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Because
sure.
they never saw rain.
It rained for
before
40
that.
days and 40 nights.
Yeah.
Right, but it said the waters came up,
Mm-hmm.
and so that is like what happens in a polar flip is the water comes up and it starts to just consume everything. So I mean, there's a lot of like ties.
And right
that you
now,
can
all
tie.
everywhere's like flooding a lot more, and they're
Dude.
saying global
oh,
warming.
dude,
and
have you
everything,
seen
but
about like Euphrates, like the rivers drying up, and
Yeah.
that's in
It's even
Revelation?
happening.
I'm like, oh, buddy,
Yeah,
here
oh,
we
gosh.
go.
I think Tower of Babel 2.0 may be the Dubai's taking on a new project that's going to outpace the Burj Khalifa.
Is it that Line City? Is that what you're
So
talking
the
about?
line is a whole
Saudi.
different.
Okay.
That's crazy. But the Burj Khalifa is like the tallest building in the world, and they're about to build another one that's like 20 or 30 stories taller than the Burj
Why?
Khalifa.
Just
Because they're trying to get to heaven.
Gotta have oxygen masks on the top floor.
Bro,
They are
seriously.
always doing the most over there in that
They
part
are.
of the world.
But you know what?
Always.
If you're financing the entire world economy because you have that much oil, you kind
Go
of get
for
to
it.
build
Yeah,
whatever
yeah, you
want.
get to- you
That
get to
line
play.
project, I'll be
Yeah.
the first one to sign up to go. 'Cause that sounds
Oh, see, no.
dope.
That
See,
sounds
that's where we
horrible.
differ. Yeah, I never.
Because
that,
you're
that
out there
thing's
in the
gonna-
middle of the
Yep,
desert,
yep.
Take me to the Tower
fully
of
under
Babel.
the control of some kingdom.
Brandon's
You
gonna
know
get
what I'm
out to the
saying?
line. The lights are gonna cut off. He's gonna. Oh my god.
Bro, you guys
I can't get home now.
He's on a 4-wheeler in the desert.
He's gonna be Waterworld. He's gonna be Kevin Costner
Totally
in
would.
Waterworld.
If I ever got abandoned for whatever reason, if anything bad ever happened, I was in the Middle East. Without even having to make the call, I can count on the fact that Done is already 5
Chopper
hours
is
on his
flying.
way. Before I realize I'm lost, Done will already.
Bro,
be
I
on
will
board.
literally be at the gym just repping 315 as I do. And then all of a sudden I'll be like, I think Brandon needs me.
Yeah.
And then just get up,
Spidey
get
sense.
Yeah,
gear,
my Brandon
snap
sense
it.
is
Call
tingling.
one of your cousins, be like,
Yeah.
"Yeah, I need you to go run after my boy."
Hey, you still got that helicopter, bro? I need a ride.
Tall white guy, good beard. That's
Yeah.
him. Grab him.
Looks a little bit like Luke Bryan. That's your man.
It's a long time. That was about 20 pounds ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, your Luke Bryan face was lit, man. But dude, good to have you guys.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, let's go ahead and get into our little fashion show. What do you think?
Yeah.
So we got my boy Grant from the Sandlot Vintage.
Shout out Sandlot.
Yes.
Is a fashion icon in the world that we know these days, and so
It's just not.
definitely into conspiracies and pyramids and timelines, but also just slaying it at fashion.
Slaying
He's
it.
going to be our judge today. He's wearing some of his very own fashion,
Fire.
and we got our boy Brandon Ramsey over here, Jay Little over here, and me. So he is going to be.
I didn't know this was gonna be like a competition, or I didn't even.
Yeah,
know
we
were
left it
wearing
as a kind of a surprise.
Bro, you
know?
cheated, bro.
That's the thing, bro. It's like I feel like in this journey, we're gonna have to surprise each other. You know what I'm saying? A little
For
bit.
sure.
It's kind of like marriage after like 20 years, right? You got to bring the
Spice
the
it up.
surprises out,
Marry the
right?
homies,
flame.
you know?
Right? You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna start, playing some games and stuff every now and again.
I like pop.
Before we play the game, can I get one? Can you explain to me Grateful Dead, the connection that you
Yes.
have? Levi's, like that whole, like that is
It-
one thing. One
honestly-
of my favorite things about your professional journey is that.
Well, so I don't even know how I was found. I just got an email out of the blue one day
The government.
from
From
probably
the
yeah.
Illuminati.
And so Levi's and the Grateful Dead, they were doing, they're on their last tour right now. And so last year when they started it, Levi's did a collab with them, released some really cool like jean jackets, shirts, shorts and stuff. And they reached out to me and they're like, hey, do you want to promote this new clothing line? And I was
go.
like, do I
No
get to
way.
keep the clothes? And they're like, yes, and we're going to pay you. And I was like sign me up. Yeah.
You didn't even need to
yeah,
pay me.
exactly. So I just made a little like promo video for him, and it was super fun, and it wasn't any like grand venture or anything, but it was cool.
Grant's the kind of guy that you have to remind him that he's made it to 1 million TikTok followers, and
Right.
that
It doesn't make it.
And that's-
any
that's
no,
how you
and
know
and
he's-
his
that's how you
reaction
know he's
is
a real
genuine,
one.
where he's like, "Oh, I did." And
That's
it's just
how
like
you know he's real.
right?
Yeah.
And then like same thing with the
It's a
collab.
number
Like,
on a screen,
he
dude.
passively mentioned it like it was him saying, "Man, I'm cold." Like he said it in that same timbre.
Are you really cold though?
No, but
Okay.
that's what I'm saying. Like
Yeah, I got
that was
you.
great here, especially
Yeah,
with
it's
this, like,
fantastic.
That was really convincing. You should go to that.
That's right.
You're the next Brad Pitt, bro.
That is not true. Even though, have y'all seen Bullet Train?
I haven't yet.
haven't.
Is it? I
That
heard
is
it was great.
One of my. That's like up there with Fury. In my
Is
opinion.
he eating the whole
dude,
time in that
Fury,
one, or
talk
no?
about a
He's
good
not,
movie.
no, he's.
I wish
Brad
that was
Pitt
my thing.
is
Just
like-
like being on camera and just
Like
eating.
eating, yeah.
Bro, I wish. That'd
That's
be an
acting
amazing
right
thing.
there.
That's right.
All right, so basically how this game is going to work is my boy Grant, he's going to be our judge. He's going to pick his favorite outfit, and
Yep.
he's going to pick the worst outfit. Okay? So if you get picked as the favorite, you are the winner. You win for the day, okay? You can take that home with you, feel
Man,
good
this
about
thing
yourself.
is rigged.
Yeah,
And
really.
then-
I didn't know I was gonna be doing
And
this.
if you are the loser, then you get pied in the face.
Nice.
So we'll let Grant do the pieing.
Well,
And
All right, that hat is part of my outfit. So is the Jimmy's poster.
Oh shoot! If the Jimmy
Bro,
poster
this is reversible. Come on.
Okay.
We
Jay
all gotta
was
like.
trying to sell me on it. Yeah.
Are we convincing him now?
Yeah, I might have
If you
to.
pick me as the loser, that is highly racist.
Well, that's what I was gonna say, dude. I can't
Okay.
pick that.
Play.
I just want to say that since we're doing convincing.
Well, the problem is, I'm the real loser because I am the bad guy.
Yeah, you are.
So
You have to be the bad guy
That's
today.
all
the problem.
You are the biggest loser.
I am the biggest loser. Well, I
You
can't,
were a loser.
obviously
You were a
can't
loser
pick you.
Listen, walk us
before.
through your ideas of the fits. Show us that.
Okay.
fashion mind, You know
well,
what I'm saying?
so here's what I'm walking through. All right, traditional garb.
Yeah,
cannot
for sure.
Cannot hate on it, no matter
Worn
what.
by my ancestors.
Yeah, exactly. Poor
That
Mike.
microphone
Yeah.
cannot catch a break.
As far as fashion goes,
Smack
the
it, smack
the
it,
Bucky's onesie, the one fit. I mean, it's almost so bold.
I know it's like a trump card.
Yes, it is. It is.
Yeah.
It's like it takes
I
some
can't believe you
gumption to
said
do
There
that.
we go. My tail
And, okay, flash the kicks though. The kicks have something
yeah.
to do with it. I mean, look at
The
that.
Scorpions.
I mean, one ice clean on them too.
How much
And,
were those? $10.
Oh my god.
Oh wait, I'm kicking the tail.
the problem is the Jimmy poster. If that almost sets because Jimi Hendrix.
It plays.
I mean,
But
it
is he
play-
wearing it?
Jimmy.
You know what I'm saying? And I mean, look, this dude's dressed as a beaver. You know what I'm saying?
He's pushing the agenda
He
here.
is.
Is he
really
got a
is.
tail? Does he have
So-
a tail?
I think
You
he's
have a
got
Okay.
stock in Bucky's.
Yeah.
I think
Okay, so
that's-
here's what I'm gonna do. All right. I'm not gonna do the pieing. You have to pie J Little.
Oh!
That's it. I can't do it. I can't do it.
I'll take it.
Let's go, Jay!
This is on donate. By
I
the way. He
feel
didn't
like we
tell
brought
me.
Hey man, it's
I
all
feel
good.
like we brought 2 trump cards right here.
You're not wasting any.
Man, I would have busted out some crazy fit. You crazy. I have like a.
This is the biggest
I have a
conspiracy of
banana
them all.
costume.
I think I actually.
Somebody was getting high off of that at the grocery store.
Bro, this is the.
At least like let me suck out the rest of the
Yeah, the good
air,
stuff. Yeah,
Get
We're
a
gonna-
little, get a little buzz going.
All right.
All right,
Here we go.
you can.
Ew, now it's
Don't
wet.
break my nose. He's gonna be like,
Yeah, just go light.
how close do I need to get right now?
I'm gonna make it very.
No, hold on. There's a towel.
Hey, take your sunglasses off, brother.
I know.
The hair
yeah,
too. That
Hey,
that
you need a
hurts.
scrunchie? I got you.
Scrunchie me. All right.
It's all part of the conspiracy.
It's all part of the conspiracy, bro.
Ugh. Boop, boop. Boop, boop.
I didn't know it had a tail, Brandon.
Yeah, that's what I said. That was.
That's a nice
you
touch.
trying to hurt me.
You're gonna pile
What I
drive
do
him.
to deserve this?
Yeah.
Let me button.
Yeah,
That's
save-
looking
save the
like
Lulu.
It's reversed. It's reversed. It's fine. We're gonna take this off.
I got like.
All these buttons.
It is everything in me right now. Not to throw it down.
knees?
Yeah.
What did I do?
Every single thing in me right now.
This
not
is
to throw
disrespectful.
down.
What did I do, bro?
You should, Brandon. You should.
Wait. Okay.
Done is nervous.
He is. Look at him. He's scared. The most delicate pie I've ever seen.
Yeah, Brandon.
Watch the mic! Watch the mic! He doesn't want it so
It's on his
bad.
face. It's all that matters.
Oh
It's
my
on his
gosh.
face. It's on his face.
Oh.
It's on me. It's on the carpet, but it's also on his face. Look, that was my first time.
I hope you got that.
That was
Oh.
All right.
Oh, that's amazing.